Hi, this is Dennis Peacock with another edition of the Transforum News Briefs. Healthcare, deficits, and bigger government. You know, healthcare has taken all the air in the room for months, and it's an important issue, and I think it should have, but I'm hoping that I don't have to do a whole lot more on this issue. Certainly that those of you that are comfortable and paying attention to what we're doing here on the Transforum are getting increasingly clear on what the real issues are here. Now, I want to talk about deficits because the real thing that's happening here today, folks, is not about health care as much as it's about deficits and bigger government. Now, the deficit issue is really simple. Speaking now as one who's been a working economist, there's only three ways to pay for deficits. You can balance the budget, which we haven't done since not Jimmy Carter, not Ronald Reagan, not George W., not George Jr., but guess who? Bill Clinton is the last president to have given us a balanced budget. We don't do that anymore, folks. You can either balance the budget, you can increase taxes, or you can inflate the currency. That's the only three ways you're going to deal with a budget problem or deficits. Is you've got to balance the budget. You have to have a mandatory system whereby you balance the budgets with a built-in incentive to actually bring in more increase so you can start paying down the principal of the debt. You can increase taxes. Well, if you do that, you're going to shut down employment to some degree. People find it more and more irritating. They're not willing to invest or risk or those kinds of things, the capital producers, because it's not worth it to them anymore. They're going to get too little percentage of whatever it is that they invest. And inflating the currency, what you do is you let inflation run wild. So you pay back the same amount of money, but the value of that money is obviously massively reduced. Now, this whole debate, and by the way, we've not had a debate. The debate's been around health care. The debate should have been around deficits and balanced budgets. All of this brings us to questions like what values bring us together? How do we create long-term prosperity for the largest number of people? The healthcare issue, you know, it's really about deficit spending. It's about a loss of confidence in civil government and the fact that the civil government is not that efficient. Anybody that thinks that we're going to be able to pay for the proposed health care out of government efficiencies is, you know, toking on that bong that I'm convinced is buried somewhere in Washington, D.C. And the problem, again, is we've got ill-defined or undefined arguments about creating jobs. How do we create wealth? What are the skill sets required to eliminate and reduce poverty? You know, I'm hoping that this country is beginning to wake up and look at what the real issues are. Healthcare, it needs reform. But what it's degenerated into is really the real issue, deficits and bigger government. This is Dennis Peacock on the Transforum, folks. Let's engage.